Every member of Huntrix went through a tragedy that left a scar for life. Rumi lost her parents, Zoey was discriminated against for her mixed nationality, and Mira had a past so heartbreaking it almost seems unreal. She's portrayed as the toughest and most fearless girl in Huntrix. But what if I told you that all that attitude is just a shield she built to protect herself from her own painful and traumatic past? Well, get ready guys, because this time we'll uncover the sad story behind Mira. Let's start with the origin of her trauma, her own family. We actually know very little about Mira's family. All we've got are a few photos where we can see her mom, dad, and brother. What's curious is the massive contrast between Mira and her family. They all look serious and elegant, while Mira comes off as casual and rebellious. With just those few pictures, they basically told us everything about the trauma Mira went through, from childhood all the way to her teenage years. And here's the thing, those people are not her real biological parents, they are her adoptive ones. And I say this because a lot of fans believe Mira is adopted for several reasons shown in the movie, but we'll get into those theories later on in the video. Now let's dive into Mira's sad and painful childhood. Ever since she was little, her parents tried to mold her into something just like them. If we look at the first photo of her as a baby, they even dressed her in the same boring, stiff clothes they were wearing. Mira hated that. They probably forced her to act, talk, and behave in ways that didn't feel like her at all. At first, her parents were not that harsh. Maybe they thought it was just a phase. But things got worse as Mira grew up. She started rebelling, stopped dressing the way they wanted, and that only brought her mockery and humiliation, especially from her brother. They made Mira look like the black sheep of the family. They constantly compared her to her brother, praising his grades, friends, and attitude. Why can't you be like your brother? You'll never be anyone if you keep acting this way. You're a disgrace to this family. The worst part was that every time Mira showed any kind of weakness or emotion, her family used it against her, mocking her and trying to manipulate her into changing. So Mira had no choice but to hide her feelings and become emotionally numb. All she ever wanted was love and understanding. But she never got either. Every single day was a reminder that she didn't belong in her own family, that they saw her as weird and unwanted. That left a deep wound in Mira, so deep she stopped trusting anyone, feeling completely betrayed. And at school, things were even worse. Her brother was the perfect student, loved by teachers and praised by everyone. Meanwhile, Mira was just the problem girl. She probably went to prestigious schools, which made the bullying and rejection even more brutal. Not just from classmates, but even from her teachers. In fact, one of the lyrics in the song Golden mentions how she was perceived as a savage girl. Because of that phrase, we get to understand that Mira often got into fights, and she was probably expelled from several schools. All that pressure pushed Mira to look for an escape, a place to let out everything she felt, and she found it in dancing. That became her therapy. All those emotions she couldn't talk about or cry over, she let them out through choreographies. And I'm pretty sure that the few friends she made, she wanted to open up, to tell them how she felt, but the emotional scars her parents left behind kept her silent. Little by little, she became tougher, colder, defensive, a wall no one could break through. We saw it clearly in the movie, like when she scared Dr. Han, or when she transformed completely from Rumi's friend into a warrior who didn't care that her friend turned into a demon and even rejected her. We believe Mira ran away from home to show her talent to the world of K-pop, and thanks to her raw skill, she was able to build her career and join Huntrix. And even though it looks like she hates her family, deep down, she still feels something for them. Maybe she secretly hopes that one day they'll show up at one of her concerts, her parents and even brother watching and cheering for her. But that day will probably never come. They are way too strict and uptight to even attend an event that doesn't fit their social class. And well, now we get to the question. Is Mira really adopted? Yes and no. We don't know for sure if she's truly adopted. Most likely that'll be revealed in the second movie. But what we do have now are a few theories about who those people in the photos with her really are. First, we have her hair color, and the theory that Mira might also be part demon. We've seen that those with demon blood have more vibrant hair compared to normal humans. But how did Mira get cursed by Gima if those so-called parents of her look way too proper to even take out the trash themselves? That's where the adoption theory really kicks in. We don't know if both her real parents died, just like what happened to Rumi, and she was taken in by one of her uncles, or if her story is more like a twisted version of Cinderella. In this case, Mira's father became a widower and ended up marrying a cold, unpleasant woman who already had a son. Those two took advantage of his grief and completely changed him. Let's just say Mira's dad lost himself to that new woman, became strict, dull, and unrecognizable. That's why we say Mira might be adopted and at the same time, maybe not. Mira's story shows how even your own family can turn their back on you just to keep up appearances in front of society. Sometimes kids have dreams or personalities that don't fit their parents' outdated expectations, and instead of embracing them, parents reject them because they can't handle the difference. Mira proved that even when your own family pushes you away and tries to mold you into something you're not, you have to stay true to yourself, believe in who you are, and be strong enough to face whatever comes. Maybe one day, Mira will finally release all those emotions she's buried for years, and we'll get to see the real side she's been hiding behind that cold, distant mask. Sometimes stories like Mira's reminds us that pain can be the spark behind greatness. Behind every tough expression, every sarcastic laugh, and every wall someone builds, there's usually a heart that once got broken too many times. Mira represents those who never got a chance to be understood, but still found a way to turn their silence into strength. Her dance isn't just choreography, it's her diary, written with every move, every beat, every glance. And that's what makes her so real. She's not perfect, she's not gentle, but she is honest. Honest about the chaos inside her. Maybe that's why so many people relate to her without even realizing it. Anyway, what do you guys think about Mira's sad story, friends? Has anyone here gone through something similar? And what other K-pop Demon Hunters character would you like us to cover next? We'll be reading your comments down below.